There's a power within you, quiet and often unnoticed, yet limitless in its potential to transform your life. It's not something you can see or touch, and perhaps that's why so few of us realize it's there. But it's waiting for you to notice, to believe in it, and to finally start using it to its fullest. What if you discovered that this invisible force, unique to you, was capable of guiding every aspect of your life with wisdom, strength, and clarity, allowing you to achieve all of your desires? The secret of your intuition. This force is your higher self, a spiritual compass that lies beyond the logical mind, beyond doubt and fear, ready to lead you toward a life aligned with your deepest truths and dreams. Throughout history, mystics, philosophers, and thinkers from every corner of the world have recognized the higher self. Ancient Greeks believed in the concept of daimon, a guiding spirit within each person, a force pushing them toward their true purpose. In Eastern philosophies, it's often referred to as the inner eye or the third eye, a heightened perception that helps you see beyond the physical world. In Christianity, this inner wisdom is sometimes seen as the voice of the Holy Spirit, gently urging people toward love, peace, and truth. Every tradition has its own name for it, but they all recognize the same thing, a secret, invisible guidance ready to unlock the mysteries of life if we are brave enough to trust it. Yet, in today's fast-paced world, many of us have lost touch with this force. We prioritize reason over intuition, facts over feelings, and doubt over trust. We brush aside the quiet whispers of our souls because they don't fit into neat, logical boxes. But in doing so, we silence one of the most powerful parts of ourselves. Imagine if you had access to a fountain of insight that could guide every decision, every relationship, every dream. Imagine living with deep-seated confidence, knowing you are supported by something greater, something timeless and wise that always has your back. Wouldn't you listen to it? Chances are that you already have. You see, in every choice you make, this unseen force, your intuition or inner guide, is constantly working. When you listen to it, you'll notice it often guides you toward what's best for you, even when it defies logic or societal expectations. Many cultures, from indigenous spiritual traditions to Eastern mysticism, honor this inner knowing as a sacred source of wisdom. Your higher self isn't just a fleeting feeling, it's the accumulation of all your experiences, thoughts, and deep-seated values, and some might say, the voice of the divine within you. Tapping into it doesn't require special knowledge or skills, only a willingness to listen and be open, and then you'll be ready to unlock access to your higher self completely. Unlock your higher self. One of the keys to finding this higher self is through a simple yet profound practice: stillness. In moments of quiet, when you detach from the noise of the world and the distractions of daily life, you begin to access the deeper layers of your consciousness. Meditation, a practice that has endured in almost every culture, serves as a doorway into these inner realms. Buddha, for example, found enlightenment by sitting in stillness under the Bodhi tree, diving deeper into himself. Through silence, he accessed a state of being that was beyond ego, beyond fear, and beyond the need for validation from the outside world. His story shows us that the answers we seek outwardly are often already present within us, awaiting our attention and openness. Our lives, however, are filled with distractions, and so few of us are taught how to listen within. Society encourages us to seek external achievements, to gather material possessions, and to chase goals that often leave us feeling more empty than fulfilled. But there comes a point when we sense that something deeper is calling. It's a gentle pull that asks us to look inward, to pause, and to reflect. If we answer this call, we begin to unlock our higher self. This journey requires courage, for it means facing parts of ourselves that we may have ignored or hidden away. It means asking questions like, who am I beyond my roles, my achievements, and my failures? And what is my purpose beyond the expectations placed upon me? When you start to ask these questions with sincerity, you may find a whole new world opening within. This process is not always easy. In fact, many spiritual paths refer to it as the dark night of the soul. It is a period when everything you thought you knew about yourself and the world may seem uncertain, even fragile. But it's during these times that the higher self begins to shine through, illuminating the parts of us that are unbreakable, unwavering, and eternal. And when we notice these newly illuminated parts, we have the option to act to achieve them or not. The best way to do this is by removing the physical, mental, and emotional clutter that fills our lives. Become minimalistic. By doing this, we allow space for deeper insights and a clearer connection to our higher self. This is minimalism, to clear away the excess to make space for what truly matters. Minimalism is more than just owning fewer things. It's a philosophy that encourages you to strip away distractions so you can reconnect with your inner being and rediscover a sense of purpose. One way that minimalism leads us toward our higher self is by challenging us to rethink our values. As we said, our society often equates success and happiness with acquiring more. Minimalism turns this idea on its head. By letting go of this pursuit, we focus on who we are rather than what we have. This is a path that has been encouraged by spiritual teachers throughout history. Jesus, for instance, spoke about the dangers of attachment to material wealth, urging his followers to store treasures in heaven, or in other words, to nurture what lies within. Similarly, the Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering. By embracing minimalism, you create space to release attachments, letting go of material desires that may cloud your connection with your higher self. Minimalism also offers clarity by freeing us from the mental noise created by an overabundance of things and responsibilities. Imagine your mind as a river. When it's cluttered with material items, constant to-do lists, and social pressures, that river becomes turbulent, obstructed. The flow is disrupted, making it difficult to hear your inner voice or trust your intuition. With a minimalist lifestyle, you begin to remove these obstructions, creating a smoother, more peaceful flow. In this stillness, the voice of your higher self grows louder, clearer, and more present. To embrace minimalism and unlock your higher self, begin by decluttering your physical space, examining each item's purpose and value, starting with areas like your wardrobe. This physical simplification reflects an inner release, reminding us that we don't need more possessions to feel whole. Use the one in, one out rule, letting go of something for every new item you acquire. This not only prevents clutter but fosters mindfulness and gratitude. Apply minimalism to your schedule by identifying essential commitments that nourish your spirit and release those that don't align with your values. Declutter your digital space by unsubscribing from unnecessary emails, deleting distracting apps, and limiting social media time, which frees up energy for mindful practices and mental clarity. Minimalism also involves mindful consumption, asking if each new purchase aligns with your values and well-being, reducing impulsive spending, and reinforcing what truly fulfills you. Cultivating gratitude shifts focus from what you lack to the abundance already present, nurturing joy in simplicity and a stronger connection to your higher self. Embrace non-attachment by letting go of rigid expectations, which allows a more open and trusting relationship with life's flow, tapping into inner wisdom and guidance. Use the space created by minimalism for personal growth through reading, journaling, or self-inquiry, fostering a journey toward understanding and embodying your higher self. Imagine being able to visualize the invisible force that lives within and around you. For so many, this force feels elusive, as if hidden behind layers of daily distractions and the noise of the external world. Yet, there is an art to connecting with it, and sometimes a piece of art can bring us closer to it. Imagine if you had a drawing, an image that represents this invisible power. Every time you look at it, you connect a little more deeply, your intentions becoming clearer and your heart more open to the energy it holds. Draw your higher self. Creating or possessing an image of this force can be a profound tool for your spiritual journey, providing you with a tangible symbol of the intangible, just as people across cultures and ages have used sacred symbols, statues, and icons to focus their prayers and meditations. A drawing representing your inner connection can help you find clarity and peace. This is not about worshipping an object, but about forming a bridge, a pathway between you and the invisible. Think about it. The act of drawing this force or commissioning someone to create it is a declaration of intention. It's a promise you make to yourself and to your higher self, that part of you which is timeless, wise, and compassionate. With each pencil stroke or brush swipe, you pour pieces of yourself into the image. Your hopes, dreams, struggles, and triumphs take form on the canvas. This process alone can be transformative, giving you space to reflect on the qualities you want to embody and the connection you want to cultivate. In many philosophies, visualization is the first step in manifesting what is unseen into reality. In Tibetan Buddhism, monks create intricate mandalas with colored sand, spending hours in meticulous detail only to sweep it all away once it's complete. For them, the mandala is a representation of the universe, a symbol of impermanence, and a focus for meditation. The process of creating and then releasing it brings them closer to enlightenment. When you create or commission your own image of this force, you're crafting a sacred mandala of your own, a tool to direct your mind, spirit, and intentions. Once you have this image, allow it to become a part of your spiritual practice. Place it somewhere you'll see often, somewhere you can approach it with reverence. When you pray or meditate, gaze upon it, letting it remind you of the presence that guides you and the wisdom that you can always access. This act of looking at something intentionally brings your mind into a place of focus, where distractions start to fade and you feel the essence of the energy within you. Each time you look upon this image, notice how your connection to it deepens. It becomes a part of you, a reminder of who you are beneath the surface layers of personality and ego. Over time, you may find that you don't need to look at it physically. Its image is already imprinted within you. But even so, having it close by, seeing it daily, anchors you to the present moment and brings you back whenever you drift too far into thoughts or anxieties. In the same way that Socrates would pause, listen, and trust the counsel of his inner daemon, this image can be a reminder to pause, breathe, and connect with your inner wisdom. Instead of rushing to find answers or forcing solutions, let this image remind you to listen, to wait for that quiet, knowing voice within. You may find that answers arrive in a whisper rather than a shout, or in the stillness between breaths, rather than in the clamor of thoughts. And as you deepen your connection with this invisible force, the image before you becomes a mirror, reflecting not just the energy of the unseen, but also the energy within you. You may start to recognize qualities in yourself that once felt hidden or inaccessible. Strength, patience, creativity, compassion. All these qualities rise to the surface as you gaze upon the drawing, and you come to realize that they were within you all along. Allow this image to serve as a compass on your journey. When you feel lost, confused, or disconnected, let it remind you of your purpose and the boundless energy that supports you. Let it bring you back to the present, to the breath, and to the feeling of being grounded, even as you're drawn to the mysteries beyond. This invisible force may be unseen, but it is always with you, always ready to guide you forward into a life that is aligned with your true self. But to truly leverage the secret invisible force within, it's essential to find your passion. Think of this force as a stream of energy flowing through you, guiding you toward the path that feels most alive and fulfilling. When you tap into what you're passionate about, you align with this force in a powerful way, like finding the perfect rhythm that brings both clarity and momentum. Your passion isn't just something you're drawn to for fun. It's a deep-seated calling that resonates with the essence of who you are. Finding your passion is like uncovering a hidden treasure. Often we're so absorbed by daily routines and external expectations that we forget to look for our true passions. But this inner exploration is where you'll find the spark that can ignite your life. Ask yourself what activities make you lose track of time, what subjects you're endlessly curious about, and what dreams you've held close since childhood. These clues point toward your unique passion, and following them allows you to harness your invisible force in a way that feels both purposeful and natural. When you pursue your passion, you awaken an inner drive that goes beyond mere motivation. This is the energy that keeps you going, even when the path is unclear or obstacles arise. It connects you to the invisible force that fuels your journey, giving you the courage to step outside your comfort zone, try new things, and push through challenges. Finding your passion allows this force to flow effortlessly, making you feel as if the universe itself is aligning in your favor. In many ancient philosophies, such as Taoism, there's an emphasis on finding and following the way, or Tao, a natural path that aligns with one's true nature. Finding your passion is much like finding your way. It's about embracing a life that feels authentic and aligned with your higher self. By pursuing what you love, you create harmony between your internal world and the world around you, letting the invisible force guide your actions and decisions. Each day, make space for your passion, even in small ways. Let it evolve and grow, trusting that this invisible force will open doors and provide opportunities for growth. As you nurture your passion, you'll discover that your life feels more fulfilling, purposeful, and vibrant, as if every moment is infused with meaning. This is the power of the invisible force that lies within you, ready to support you every step of the way. You're in control of this force. It might surprise you to hear this, but you are already in control of the invisible force guiding your life. All the power, intuition, and strength you could ever need is within you, quietly waiting for you to recognize it. The real obstacle? Believing you lack control, doubting yourself, and letting those doubts cloud your sense of purpose and direction. This belief in your own limitation is what makes you feel powerless, disconnected, and uncertain. But this invisible force, the one we often think of as mysterious and elusive, is not separate from you. It's part of who you are, woven into your very being. From the start, spiritual texts and ancient philosophies have taught us that this force is always accessible. In Hindu philosophy, the Upanishads speak of Atman, the inner self, as connected to Brahman, the universal energy. Similarly, Taoism teaches us that the Tao, or the way, is the natural flow that connects and sustains everything. These teachings point to a profound truth. We are not separate from the energy that shapes our world. Instead, we are an extension of it, capable of shaping it just as it shapes us. Yet so often we convince ourselves otherwise. We get caught in thoughts of inadequacy and stories about why things aren't possible. Perhaps we tell ourselves we aren't ready, that we don't have the tools, or that we're somehow less deserving of this power. These thoughts create a barrier, making us feel separate from the very force we're part of. Imagine a river doubting its own flow, or a tree questioning its growth. Just as they are meant to move and grow effortlessly, so too are we meant to align with our own unique force. But unlike the river or the tree, we can get tangled in thoughts that distance us from our true essence. Once you understand this, you start to see that reclaiming your power is not about gaining something new, but about remembering what has always been yours. It's not about pushing harder or controlling everything around you. Instead, it's about surrendering to your own flow and trusting that this invisible force has always been under your guidance. When you quiet the noise of doubt and let go of the need to control every detail, you find that you are more capable and connected than you ever imagined. This force responds to belief, to intention, and to trust. Just as a compass aligns when given a steady hand, the energy within you aligns when you trust yourself fully. Every time you tune into your own desires, intentions, and goals with faith rather than fear, You are exercising control over this invisible force. It's like tapping into a wellspring of power that's been there all along, waiting for you to acknowledge it. In the story of The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho speaks of a personal legend, a journey each of us is meant to take in order to fulfill our purpose. This journey isn't about acquiring control, it's about realizing that control already lies within us. The protagonist, Santiago, finds that the treasure he seeks has been within reach all along. Likewise, we each have a treasure, the invisible force we've been conditioned to seek outside ourselves, but that truly exists within. Think about how often you feel the impulse to change, to create, to expand. These impulses are not mere whims, they are messages from the invisible force calling you to align with your deeper self. You are the source of your own strength, the architect of your path. When you honor these impulses rather than dismiss them, you are tapping into your own power, shaping your reality from the inside out. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.